Let's be real for a second. Does the world of money ever feel like it was designed just to be, well, confusing? You are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain, demystify your dollars, and figure out what's really going on with your money.
We have all been there, right? You get that paycheck notification, you see that nice big round number, and you feel great. But then you actually look at your bank account and hold on a minute. It's that classic paycheck paradox. You earned that money, so where on earth did the rest of it just vanish to?
It's the big question, isn't it? In this case, the $544 question. And the answer to that question starts to reveal all these invisible forces, all these hidden rules that are always playing with our money. To really get a handle on your money, you've got to understand the rules of the game it's playing in. And rule number one, the one that gets you right from the start? Oh yeah, it's taxes. You know, as much as we all complain about them, taxes are basically our subscription fee for living in a functioning society. It's the money that pays for the roads we drive on, the schools, and a whole bunch of other public services we pretty much take for granted every single day. And it can really feel like your paycheck is getting hit from every single direction, can it? I mean, you've got income tax on what you earn, sales tax on what you buy, even taxes on what your investments make. And that's before we even talk about Social Security and Medicare, which are basically the government making you save for your own future. It is a lot. And here is the absolute wildest part of the whole thing. The government, they already know how much you owe them. They have the numbers. But they make you do all the math and guess the number anyway. It's like this bizarre, super stressful pop quiz every single year. Okay, so that's taxes. Now, let's zoom out a little and look at some of the other huge players in the financial system, starting with the one place you probably think your money is safe, the bank. This is probably one of the biggest myths out there. We have this image in our heads of our money just sitting in a big, secure vault, maybe with some lasers and a security guard. But the truth? It's way more interesting, and maybe a little bit scarier. The second you deposit that money, it's already out the door. See, it's a system called fractional reserve banking, and it's basically how banks make their money. It's kind of like a magic trick. You deposit $1,000. The bank is legally required to keep just a tiny piece of that. And the rest? Poof! It's loaned out to somebody else for a car, a house, whatever. Your money isn't just sitting there, it's funding someone else's life. You ever get that feeling that your money just doesn't go as far as it used to? That's not in your head. That's inflation. It's like this silent thief that's constantly eating away at your buying power. Your $5 bill is still a $5 bill, but what it can actually buy gets a little smaller every single year. So what's behind this? Well, there are a few things. Sometimes it's a simple case of too much money chasing too few things. Everybody wants the hot new phone, so prices go up. Other times it gets more expensive to make stuff because of supply chain issues. And, sometimes it's just a vibe. If everyone expects prices to go up, they rush to buy things, which, you guessed it, makes prices go up. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you've got the total opposite of a booming economy, a recession. This is when everything pulls back. The economy actually shrinks for at least 6 months straight. It's when you hear about layoffs and everyone stops spending money on anything that isn't an absolute necessity. This is probably the best way to think about it. The good times, the boom, that's the party. Everyone's having fun, the music's loud. But a recession, that's when the DJ cuts the music, flicks on the bright lights, and everyone realizes what a mess they've made. It's the bus that follows the boom. It's painful, but it's part of the cycle. And have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a dollar bill worth anything at all? I mean, it's just a piece of paper, right? The only reason it can buy you a coffee while a stick from your yard can't is because we all collectively agree that it has value. The entire financial system is built on this shared belief. It's all based on trust. Okay, so we've talked about these huge, massive systems. Let's bring it all the way back down to you. Because in this financial game, there are a few numbers that act as your own personal scoreboard. First up is interest, and man, this one is a double-edged sword. It can be your absolute worst enemy. Think about credit card debt that turns a simple purchase into a huge financial burden. Or it can be your absolute best employee, working for you 24/7 in an investment account, making you money while you sleep. And next, we have your credit score. The easiest way to think about this is as your financial report card. It's just one number that basically tells banks and lenders how good you are at paying back money. This little number has a huge say in whether you can get a car loan or a mortgage, and how much extra you're going to pay for it. So what's the secret sauce here? Well, if you look at how it's calculated, the biggest piece of the pie, by far, is just your payment history. Just paying your bills on time, every time, is the single most powerful thing you can do for your financial future. It's that simple and that important. I absolutely love this analogy because it's just so true. You can't just stick your head in the sand and hope for the best with your credit score. You got to pay attention to it, you got to feed it with on-time payments, and you got to take care of it. If you do, it can be your best friend. But if you ignore it, well, things can get really, really messy.
All right, you know the rules, you know your scoreboard. So the last piece of this puzzle is learning how to stop playing defense and start playing offense, how to make this entire system start working for you.
So how do you actually get ahead? How do you beat that inflation we talked about? Well, the name of the game is investing. You can buy stocks, which is just owning a tiny piece of a company, or bonds, where you're basically the bank, loaning money to a government or a corporation, or you can buy funds, which are just baskets of all that stuff mixed together. The goal is to get your money to start making more money. And this is where the real magic happens. It's called compounding. When you reinvest what you earn, your money doesn't just grow, it grows exponentially. The earlier you start, the more powerful it is. What looks like a small amount of money today can, over time, grow into something that can completely change your life. It's an incredible force.
You know, the secret to creating wealth often just boils down to one simple word: value. Just look at these two bags. They're made of pretty much the same stuff: fabric, a zipper, some thread. So why is one of them literally 100 times more expensive? Because people believe it's more valuable. It's all about perceived value. If you can figure that out, you're on your way.
And that really brings us to the final, most important point. The most valuable thing you have isn't in your bank account. It's your time. Most of us just trade our time directly for money. But the real secret, the real hack, is to learn how to make your skills, your investments, and your hours work for you. So the real question isn't just about your dollars. It's about how you're going to spend your most precious currency,